In the previous video, we discussed the integral test, which is one of the convergence tests for series of non-negative terms. Another test for these types of series is called the comparison test. In some problems, the conditions for the integral test may not be satisfied. Instead, we may try to use this test as shown in the theorem. Again, let summation of a sub n and summation of b sub n be series of non-negative terms. For case 1, if a sub n is less than or equal to b sub n for all n greater than or equal to k for some natural number k, and if the series of b sub n is convergent, then it follows that the series summation a sub n is also convergent. For case 2, if a sub n is greater than or equal to b sub n for all n greater than or equal to k for some natural number k, and if summation of b sub n is divergent, then the series summation of a sub n is also divergent. In using the comparison test, you need some skill in choosing the series summation b sub n for comparison. Usually, we choose the appropriate geometric series or p-series for the choice of summation of b sub n. But it may not be the case for some other problems. This depends on the given problem, as we will see in the following examples. For our first problem, we want to determine whether the series summation from n equals 2 to infinity of 1 all over cube root of n minus 1 converges or diverges. Take note, positive ang cube root of n minus 1 for all n greater than or equal to 2. Medyo kamukha nitong series, yung series na summation n equals 2 to infinity of 1 over cube root of n. Kaya subukan nating gamitin ito for comparison. We set a sub n to be 1 over cube root of n minus 1 and b sub n to be 1 over cube root of n. Dahil mas maliit ang denominator ni a sub n kaysa kay b sub n at parehong positive ito for n greater than or equal to 2, we have a sub n greater than b sub n. Ngayon naman, yung series na summation from n equals 1 to infinity of 1 over cube root of n ay divergent dahil ito ay isang p-series with p equal to 1/3 less than 1. At dahil dito, alam natin na divergent din ang series na summation from n equals 2 to infinity of 1 over cube root of n. Kasi nagbago lang ang starting value ni n. By comparison test, the series summation a sub n or summation 1 over cube root of n minus 1 from n equals 2 to infinity also diverges. Tandaan natin na dalawa ang conditions na kailangan mai-satisfy dito sa problem para magamit ang comparison test. Yung a sub n greater than b sub n at summation of b sub n diverges. Kung sakali isang condition lang ang naging totoo dito, wala tayong makukuhang conclusion. For our second problem, we determine whether the series summation n equals 1 to infinity of 1 over cube root of n plus 1 converges or diverges. Again, positive ang cube root of n plus 1 for all n. Subukan natin gamitin ang p-series summation 1 over cube root of n for comparison. Again, we first set a sub n equal to 1 over cube root of n plus 1 and b sub n equal to 1 over cube root of n. And clearly, for n greater than or equal to 1, we have a sub n less than b sub n. Pero kakasabi lang natin kanina na yung p-series summation of 1 over cube root of n is divergent. At base sa requirements ng comparison test, wala tayong makukuha na conclusion dito. Subukan naman natin gumamit ng ibang series for comparison. Meron tayong typographical error dito sa attempt number 2. Imbis na summation of 1 over cube root of n, ang gagamitin natin na yon ay summation of 1 over 2 times cube root of n. So we set a sub n to be 1 over cube root of n plus 1 and b sub n to be 1 over 2 times cube root of n. And for n greater than or equal to 1, mas malaki si cube root of n kay 1, kaya a sub n ay mas malaki sa 1 over 2 cube root of n, which is also our b of n, b sub n. Again, yung p series summation 1 over cube root of n ay divergent. Kaya pag may constant multiplier tayo na 1/2, divergent pa rin ang series na summation of 1 over 2 times cube root of n. Thus, by comparison test, the series summation of 1 over cube root of n plus 1 diverges. For our third problem, tingnan natin kung convergent or divergent ang series na summation 2 to the n sine squared n all over 3 to the n plus 1. Napakita na natin sa previous lecture na series of non-negative terms ito. Again, kailangan ng practice para maisip kung ano ang pwedeng gamitin na series for comparison. For this problem, subukan natin ang geometric series na summation of 2/3 raised to n. Note that 0 is less than sine squared n less than 1 for all n. Kaya ang a sub n ay less than 2 to the n all over 3 to the n plus 1. At ito naman ay less than 2 to the n over 3 to the n, which is our b sub n. At dahil geometric series ang summation of 2/3 raised to n, with r equal to 2/3, ito ay convergent. Kaya by comparison test, the series also converges. Here are some exercises on the two tests, the integral test and the comparison test. It is difficult to determine whether a given series is convergent or divergent because you have to choose the appropriate series test for the problem. We will still discuss more tests in the succeeding lectures. So start practicing by solving these problems that only involves one of the two tests.